What up, Wastelanders? Christopher here, Gaslands NorCal. Thanks again for joining me for another team build. Last week we did a highway patrol team, and that was a lot of fun. And I really thought, I should be doing more teams. So this week we're going to do another team. Had a request last week to do a Warden Batman. Didn't really specify what year Batman, and I really like this cast, so that's what we're going to go with. And yeah, we're going to do Warden. Now, to be honest, this is not a sponsor that I've done a lot of builds for or played a whole lot, so this will be kind of a new experience. But we've got a couple of really good cars to do here. This is going to be the prison car. This is going to be the Warden car. Picked up these really cool water slide decals when I was at Gen Con a couple weeks ago. Got some wheels going on from Angel of Combustion, some weapons and armor and RAM and stuff. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun and should come out pretty cool. So without further ado, let's get these babies taken apart and we will get them into the stripper. Alright, so we are all stripped up, primed up, ready to go. I'm going to be using this Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Bone Satin, the new signature series that I just got at Gen Con from Matt Sexfish? I don't know. I've used the other paints in this series and I think they're just absolutely fabulous, just like all of their other stuff. So yeah, taped off the windows for the prison car, so I want to get the top painted as well because that's going to go inside there and the decals can go on top. So yeah, let's get these all primed up with the bone, and that's going to make the decal stand out a heck of a lot better. Trying to do dark on dark, so, and it also helps the rust and stuff stand out, but I'll go into that a little bit more once we get to that step. So yeah, let's get these painted and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so here we are all painted up, and I got everything put back together. Still got to do some of the detail work on there, get the silver and stuff painted on the engines and everything. The door handles, I'm going to do the lights, of course, and the tail lights. Even though a lot of the stuff is going to be covered up, but still, I just like to do it. It's very completion oriented for me. It makes me feel better about the build. After that, I'm going to be getting the decals and stuff on there. The Warden car is going to have some napalm droppers, so I'm going to get some fire going on those ones. Right, stick it here in the back. And then get some NOS going on up here as well. So first, let's get all the detail work painted up, and then we'll get the rest of the decals on. Detail out the wheels and the weapons and the RAM and everything else, and then we'll start doing the weathering. So let's get some detail work done. Okay, got the wheels all done. The car's detailed out. Wheels are looking pretty spiffy. So next is going to be the accoutrement, the RAM, the armor, the nitro, the weapons. All I really do with these is base coat them in black and dry brush them silver before doing any other fine detail work on them. So I'm going to dry brush these, and then I'll put a little bit of red on the napalm droppers and put the NOS stickers on there and paint the hose and stuff. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do for the addition. So I'm going to get that done, and then we will get the decals on the model, get the wheels on there, start getting everything put together, and start doing some weathering. Okay, So the armor and the wheels and everything and the weapons and stuff are all detailed out. NOS turned out pretty cool. So now we're going to go on to the decals for the vehicles themselves. Now these are bigger decals, especially this one I'm going to be putting on the prisoner car. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to fit on there. I may have to kind of adjust and use one of the smaller decals to get that to work out just right, but we will give it a shot and see how it goes. Then we're going to start getting everything together and then doing some of the weathering. I also have some of these other skull horn thing rams that we stick on the front to just kind of bring the team cohesion together, and those should be looking pretty cool. So yeah, let's get these big decals on, hopefully, and then we'll continue on with getting stuff together. Alright, so the decals are on. It went on a lot easier than I was expecting for one so big. Just kind of slid right on there. So yeah, definitely bringing in that team cohesion with these things. It's looking really, really good. Get the flame stuff, everything going on there as well. So now I'm going to be moving on to some of the weathering. I'm going to start with the Agrax. Just go over the entire thing and kind of wipe it down, just get the cracks and crevices to come out. And then we'll move on to the chipping, of course, using the MIG chipping solution there, and with the sponge method that I love. And yeah, then we will start getting everything together. Probably do a little bit more rusting and stuff on the prison car, not so much on the warden's car, because the warden has a better car than the prison car. So yeah, let's get some weathering going on, and we'll keep going. Okay, so we're all weathered up and chipped up here initially, at least. Looking pretty good. Yeah, really loving how these decals are really bringing this team together. Awesome, love it. Alright, so next I'm going to get the wheels on, and then I will get the weapons and the rest of the armor and stuff on there, and then I will start doing a little bit more of the weathering with the rust and everything else, and then we'll kind of go into what each one of these things can do, and yeah, then we should be good. So let's get some wheels on. Alright, so we got the wheels on. When you put the wheels on, always make sure your treads are going the right way, at least the same way as all the other ones. And also, if you notice in the beginning of the video, I had some other larger wheels that I was looking at using on the prison car. Started getting it on there and realized that the wheels were way too big for the rest of the model, so had to make a kind of split decision and shift a little bit. And that's one of the things to keep in mind when you're doing your builds. Don't fall in love with your pieces and everything else, and try to make, you know, a square peg fit in a round hole. If it's not going to work, just kind of rotate, shift, do something a little bit different. It's going to come out cool anyway. So yeah, don't try to make a square peg fit in a round hole. All right, so off my soapbox. Let's get the armor on and the ram and the rest of the weapons and everything else. I have this really cool barbed wire that I found at my local game shop. Never seen this stuff before. I was my own barbed wire in the past, and that is a pain. But yeah, this stuff works out pretty cool and it looks really good. So this is also going to be going around the prison car to keep those nasty inmates in there once we get all the weapons and the armor and everything else on. So let's get everything together, and then we will continue on with some weathering. Alright, everything's all put together, looking to just doing the final weathering with a little bit of rust. These guys are looking really good. Loving how those skulls are turning out. Like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot of rust on the Warden Car because he's the Warden, but he looks pretty badass. Prison Car is going to get a little bit more rust going on. Definitely going to be rust up the barbed wire and everything else. Again, the skull looks really good on this one. But yeah, coming together very, very nicely. So I'm going to get the weathering done with just the good old AK orange rust. Get a little drips in the cracks and crevices, and then we're going to dust it up as always with the AK splatter effect accumulated dust, and then we'll be good. Go into a little more detail about how I spec these guys out. I made them both 50 can vehicles, so this is kind of a monster team. So yeah, let's get some rust on there and some dust on there, and then we'll talk about it. All right, and there we have it. One Warden team with a Batman. Really like how the decals brought this team together. Turned out really, really well. Really enjoyed doing this. Don't know why I don't do more team builds. It's my second one in a row, so I'm probably gonna start doing some more. But you know what? All in all, great fun. They look great together. So here's how I spec'd them out. For the prisoner car, did not give him any additional weapons, but he does have 4 crew with the ram up front. He's got the battle hammer, madman, double-barreled, boarding party, terrifying lunatic, crowd pleaser, and murder tractor. So that ought to do some damage smashing into things. For the Warden car, does have the front-mounted minigun, a couple versions of NOS. It's got a napalm dropper, an extra crew member, 2 sets of submachine guns, giving him double-barreled, boarding party, and road warrior. Really like to see how these two fare in a larger game, so may have to try that out with some of my buddies. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked what you saw here, if you learned something, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to support the channel and get notified when new content drops, go ahead and hit that subscribe. That would be pretty damn cool. If there's a team build that you want me to do, or some other recommendation or request you have, go ahead and drop me a comment, and I will see if I can get that done. Until next time, Gaslands NorCal, signing out.